A relationship begins to unfold differently when Allah places barakah in it. You feel a sense of reassurance that doesn't need to be explained, only acknowledged. The connection carries a depth that reaches beyond conversation, beyond appearance, beyond the excitement of newness. It touches the heart in a way that feels meaningful, steady, and rooted in sincerity. You start to recognize that this bond is shaping your character, guiding your choices, and gently pulling you toward better habits, better intentions, and a better version of yourself. The signs appear quietly. You notice a consistency in their actions, a purity in their intentions, and a level of respect that strengthens trust rather than weakens it. The relationship encourages growth instead of insecurity, patience instead of impulsiveness, and honesty instead of fear. Even your silence together carries comfort because the foundation is built on something far deeper than emotional impulse. It is grounded in purpose, grounded in stability, grounded in faith. And when a connection carries that kind of depth, the heart knows it is experiencing something different, something protected, something guided, something written with wisdom. Allah does not bring two souls together without reason. And when the signs align, it becomes clear that this relationship is not ordinary. It is a path He has opened, a journey He is guiding, and a mercy He is placing gently into your life. A meaningful connection begins to shape a person in ways they never expected. When Allah allows two lives to cross paths for a greater purpose, the heart begins to recognize qualities within itself that were waiting to surface. With this connection, kindness becomes easier to show. Patience becomes more natural, and sincerity becomes part of daily interaction. It is through Allah's mercy that a relationship can draw out strengths that once remained hidden. The bond begins to influence character before influencing emotion. The presence of the other person encourages better behavior, deeper reflection, and a clearer sense of responsibility. This shift is not forced. It happens gently, as if Allah is guiding both hearts toward refinement. Through this guidance, the individual becomes more aware of their words, choices, and impact. A connection written by Allah inspires growth rather than insecurity. Instead of shrinking under pressure, the heart expands with purpose. The relationship nurtures discipline, gratitude, and a desire to improve. Allah places this desire naturally, allowing the bond to push each soul toward better habits. The progress may be subtle, but its effect is lasting. Strength emerges as the relationship brings clarity about personal values. What once caused confusion becomes easier to understand. The person begins to realize what they must hold on to, what they must release, and what truly matters. Allah uses the connection as a means of showing priorities with new precision. This clarity becomes a powerful guide. Such a bond encourages emotional maturity. Reactions become more measured, communication grows more thoughtful, and the heart learns to listen before responding. These changes unfold over time, shaped by the gentleness Allah places within the relationship. Through this emotional maturity, challenges become opportunities for understanding, not conflict. A connection that brings out the best teaches humility. The person realizes that improvement is a continuous journey, not a momentary effort. Allah allows the relationship to highlight areas that need attention, not in a harsh way, but in a way that fosters growth. With this awareness, both hearts evolve with sincerity. Faith becomes stronger when the connection is guided by Allah. Worship gains depth. Dua becomes more heartfelt, and reliance on Allah becomes a natural part of the bond. The relationship reminds each soul of the importance of keeping Allah at the center. With faith anchoring the connection, emotional stability rises. Inner peace develops as the bond encourages authenticity. Pretense fades, masks fall away, and the heart becomes comfortable being honest. Allah grants comfort to the one who embraces truth. This honesty brings calmness into the relationship, allowing both individuals to grow without fear of judgment. Confidence increases when the relationship highlights strengths rather than weaknesses. The person begins to recognize their own worth, not through flattery, but through genuine appreciation and support. Allah places this encouragement within the connection to uplift the heart. Through this upliftment, self-doubt slowly dissolves. A person becomes more grateful for life when Allah places someone who values them correctly. Gratitude softens the heart and transforms small blessings into profound reminders of Allah's kindness. This gratitude extends into every part of life, influencing how the individual approaches both joy and hardship. The connection teaches resilience. Difficult moments no longer feel draining, they become lessons that strengthen character. Allah empowers the heart to face challenges with grace when the relationship is rooted in sincerity. This resilience becomes one of the most beautiful qualities developed through the bond. Communication improves naturally. Allah places ease in honest expression and understanding in attentive listening. As a result, misunderstandings decrease and mutual respect deepens. The heart learns that communication is not only about words, but also about intention, patience, and compassion. This skill elevates the relationship profoundly. Hope becomes a guiding force. The individual begins to look at the future with optimism rather than fear. Allah allows this sense of hope to settle in the heart when the connection is pure. It is this hope that motivates personal improvement and strengthens commitment to the bond. The relationship raises standards not by demanding perfection, but by inspiring better choices. The presence of this connection makes it easier to avoid harmful behavior and pursue beneficial actions. Allah blesses this type of companionship by allowing both people to grow without losing humility. The improvement is shared, steady, and meaningful. Life changes when Allah allows a connection to bring out the best within. The heart becomes softer, the mind becomes clearer, and the soul becomes stronger. This bond is not merely emotional, it is transformative. Allah uses it as a means of elevating character and guiding both individuals toward a better version of themselves. It becomes evident that the most beautiful relationships are those that help the soul draw closer to Allah. A heart begins to understand stability when the bond it shares with someone no longer pulls it toward confusion. Instead, it pulls it toward clarity, calmness, and a sense of grounded purpose. When Allah guides a connection, the mind does not race to create stories. It finds relief in the honesty present. The heart recognizes that the calmness it feels isn't temporary excitement but a sign of divine alignment unfolding quietly. The heart gains a sense of assurance when the bond does not demand pretending or performing. It feels comfortable being sincere because sincerity is reciprocated. Allah allows these qualities to appear naturally so that the soul can distinguish between a connection built on emotional impulse and one built on truth. With this clarity, fear begins to fade and contentment takes its place. Stability is felt when communication becomes effortless. Not perfect, but genuine. The heart senses that misunderstandings do not escalate into chaos because both individuals value peace over ego. Allah places compassion in the bond, making patience a shared trait rather than a burden. Through this compassion, the relationship develops emotional maturity. A divinely guided bond does not depend on constant reassurance to survive. The heart recognizes stability when trust is established without being demanded. This trust grows through consistent actions rather than repeated promises. Allah strengthens trust between two people when the intention behind the bond is sincere and pure. The heart feels safe when the relationship honors boundaries. Stability appears when respect is not selective but continuous, even during disagreement. Allah honors those who honor one another with dignity. This dignity builds a foundation that allows the bond to withstand external pressure and internal challenges. In a guided connection, the heart stops searching for hidden intentions. The behavior of the other person brings transparency instead of suspicion. Allah reduces doubt and increases clarity for those walking upon a sincere path. This clarity becomes a form of emotional protection that keeps the heart from unnecessary turmoil. The heart experiences stability when the bond encourages growth rather than attachment to comfort. Both individuals feel inspired to improve, not out of pressure, but out of mutual encouragement. Allah blesses relationships that uplift rather than weaken. Through this uplifting spirit, the connection becomes a source of progress. Inner stability grows when the bond does not threaten one's relationship with Allah. Instead, it pushes both individuals toward better worship, cleaner intentions, and stronger values. A relationship that strengthens faith carries signs of divine guidance. Allah places barakah in connections that honor Him first. The heart recognizes stability when challenges do not cause the bond to collapse. Instead, challenges reveal resilience. Allah allows difficulties to appear to test sincerity, refine character, and strengthen unity. When disputes lead to understanding rather than resentment, the heart understands that the bond has depth. Security appears when expectations are realistic and not rooted in fantasy. The heart understands that a stable bond is built on patience, compromise, and shared effort. Allah supports those who strive for balance rather than perfection. Through this balance, stability becomes a lived experience, not an imagined ideal. A divinely guided bond brings emotional consistency. Highs do not distort the journey, and lows do not shake the commitment. Allah places steadiness in hearts that rely on Him. This steadiness helps both individuals remain anchored even when life becomes uncertain. The heart learns to trust the rhythm Allah sets. The heart recognizes stability when future planning does not induce anxiety. Instead, it brings a sense of direction. Allah creates harmony in intentions when a bond is meant to evolve, goals align naturally, and the shared future feels achievable. This alignment is one of the strongest signs of divine guidance. The heart grows peaceful when the bond does not drain energy but restores it. Interactions become uplifting rather than exhausting. Allah fills relationships with comfort when they are built with sincerity, patience, and respect. This comfort becomes evidence that the bond is safe for the soul. Trust in Allah deepens when the heart sees how He arranges the connection. Encounters happen with purpose, discussions carry meaning, and timing unfolds with precision. This realization allows the heart to relax into the relationship without fear. Allah's guidance becomes visible in every step. A heart fully recognizes stability when it no longer feels the need to run, question, or protect itself excessively. Allah grants tranquility to the soul that walks toward what He has written with humility and sincerity. Through this tranquility, the bond becomes more than a relationship, it becomes a pathway towards spiritual and emotional elevation. Peace becomes noticeable when the relationship no longer feels like a battle to maintain. The connection grows naturally, supported by sincerity rather than pressure. This calmness is a sign from Allah that the bond carries purity and purpose. When the heart stops resisting and begins to embrace the connection, it recognizes that true peace is a divine gift, not a human creation. This type of peace appears when communication does not leave wounds. Words do not pierce, they comfort. Even during disagreement, the tone remains respectful because the intention is never to hurt. Allah places mercy between two people who genuinely wish to understand each other. That mercy softens reactions and protects the heart from unnecessary pain. Peace surrounds the bond when both individuals feel safe being themselves. Pretense fades because acceptance is genuine. Allah brings tranquility into relationships that value honesty over perfection. The heart settles when it knows it does not have to hide its vulnerabilities. This security becomes a foundation for lasting companionship. A lasting relationship carries peace because it does not demand constant reassurance. Trust builds slowly but firmly, guided by consistent actions. Allah strengthens trust between two souls that approach one another with sincerity. Because of this trust, the heart stops fearing loss and begins appreciating presence. Genuine peace appears when the bond encourages responsibility rather than emotional chaos. Each person feels accountable for their behavior, not defensive. Allah blesses relationships built on humility, and this humility keeps ego from destroying harmony. As a result, both individuals grow with maturity, not resentment. The heart recognizes peace when the connection enhances worship instead of distracting from it. Faith becomes stronger, intentions become purer, and spiritual awareness increases. Allah places barakah in relationships that draw two people closer to Him. This spiritual nourishment stabilizes the bond and protects it from weakening. Peace becomes evident when challenges do not destroy the relationship but reveal its strength. Difficult moments become opportunities to support one another rather than to assign blame. Allah grants resilience to the connection built on patience and compassion. The relationship thrives not by avoiding hardship, but by learning through it. A lasting relationship carries peace because both individuals communicate with clarity. Misunderstandings do not spiral because transparency takes precedence over assumptions. Allah grants wisdom to hearts that prefer truth over comfort. This wisdom turns potential conflict into deeper understanding. The heart experiences peace when the relationship honors boundaries. Respect is not selective, it is practiced consistently. Allah uplifts those who treat others with dignity, and this dignity stabilizes the bond. Feeling respected creates emotional assurance that strengthens the connection. Peace surrounds the relationship when both individuals value growth. Improvement is welcomed, not criticized. Allah grants progress to those who strive to better themselves for His sake. When growth is shared, the bond becomes a journey of mutual refinement rather than silent competition. A relationship meant to last carries peace because the presence of the other person feels reassuring. Their company does not drain, it restores. Allah places comfort between righteous companions, allowing their togetherness to feel meaningful. This comfort becomes a sign of divine alignment. The heart finds peace when there is no need to chase, fear, or manipulate outcomes. The relationship flows with balance because Allah eases the path. Seeking clarity from Him brings more stability than seeking validation from the other person. This reliance creates calmness that cannot be manufactured. Peace surrounds the bond when consistency is present. Promises are honored, efforts are visible, and actions align with words. Allah helps sincere hearts remain steadfast, and this steadiness becomes evidence that the relationship is built on truth. Through consistency, trust becomes effortless. The relationship gains peace when forgiveness is practiced. Hurt does not linger unnecessarily, and apologies come with sincerity. Allah rewards those who forgive with emotional ease. This forgiveness restores harmony quickly and prevents bitterness from taking root within the bond. Peace becomes stronger when both individuals understand each other's emotional language. They recognize pain, appreciate effort, and respond with care. Allah unites hearts that strive to empathize rather than judge. This empathy strengthens unity and deepens affection. The heart finds peace when the future feels hopeful rather than frightening. Allah places optimism within relationships that align with His plan. Whether the road ahead is clear or uncertain, both individuals feel supported. This shared hope gives the connection long-term stability. A lasting bond carries peace because it prioritizes what truly matters. Temporary emotions do not overshadow long-term values. Allah blesses those who prioritize fairness, gratitude, and patience. These qualities strengthen the foundation of the bond and protect it from weakening. Peace appears when both individuals choose understanding over argument. Disagreement does not mean disconnection. Allah places harmony in hearts that approach conflict with wisdom. This harmony helps the relationship remain steady even through difficult phases. The relationship feels peaceful when it becomes a sanctuary rather than a stressor. The heart looks forward to the presence of the other person because the environment they create is safe, respectful, and uplifting. Allah fills relationships with peace when the intention behind them is pure. Peace surrounds a relationship meant to last because Allah Himself places it there. No effort alone could create such tranquility. When the heart recognizes this peace, it recognizes the divine guidance behind the bond. This is the kind of peace that does not fade because it is rooted in sincerity, patience, and the mercy of Allah. Compatibility becomes clearer when words no longer carry the weight of the relationship. Actions step forward as the true indicators. Allah allows sincerity to show not through dramatic expressions but through consistent behaviors that nurture trust. The heart learns to see beyond promises and begins to value the reliability that comes from genuine commitment. This is the first sign of a bond rooted in truth. When a relationship is guided by Allah, intentions become visible in how each person treats the other. Respect is demonstrated through effort, patience, and thoughtful choices. Instead of grand declarations, the heart finds reassurance in gestures that show responsibility. Allah blesses those who act with integrity, And this integrity becomes a mirror reflecting compatibility in the most honest way. Promises lose their meaning when they lack follow-through. But when actions align with words, the bond gains strength. Allah reveals the truth of a person's character through what they repeatedly do, not through what they claim. This consistency builds a sense of stability that cannot be created by eloquence alone. The heart recognizes this stability immediately. Compatibility shows itself in the way disagreements are handled. Frustration does not turn into disrespect. Disappointment does not lead to avoidance. Allah places wisdom in the hearts of those who value harmony, allowing them to address conflict with maturity. Through this, compatibility becomes evident, not in perfect agreement, but in the ability to remain respectful through discomfort. A compatible bond reflects itself in how responsibilities are shared. Both individuals contribute without keeping score. They understand that relationships flourish when effort is mutual. Allah rewards cooperation by placing barakah in shared tasks and shared goals. This cooperative spirit reveals a deep alignment that words cannot describe. Patience becomes a sign of compatibility. When someone is willing to pause, listen, and understand without rushing to judgment, the heart notices. Allah softens the behavior of those who carry genuine care. This softness creates an emotional environment where both individuals feel valued even during challenging seasons. Compatibility is shown through how a person protects the other's dignity. No belittling, no exposing faults, no careless reactions. Allah honors relationships that honor each other. Through these respectful behaviors, the heart gains confidence that it is safe, supported, and valued beyond superficial attraction. Truthfulness becomes another indicator. When a bond is authentic, honesty is not selective. It becomes a natural part of the relationship. Allah blesses truthful hearts with clarity, and this clarity reveals whether two souls are truly aligned. The heart learns that honesty is not about perfection but about sincerity. A compatible bond values emotional responsibility. Each person becomes aware of how their words and actions impact the other. Allah guides hearts toward empathy when the connection is meant to last. This awareness reduces harm and increases understanding, strengthening the relationship with every exchange. Compatibility shines through commitment to improvement. Both individuals seek to grow not only for themselves but for the sake of the relationship. Allah supports those who strive toward better character. This mutual desire to improve becomes a quiet sign that the bond carries long-term potential. The heart recognizes compatibility when peace becomes more common than tension. Allah places tranquility in relationships built on righteousness and respect. This tranquility is not the absence of problems, but the presence of maturity in handling them. Through it, the heart learns to trust the connection more deeply. Acts of kindness reveal compatibility quickly. Kindness requires no rehearsal, no performance, and no reward. It comes from a purified heart. Allah elevates those who treat others with compassion, especially within relationships. The nature of these small yet meaningful actions speaks louder than any promise. Dependability becomes another sign. When someone reliably shows up, fulfills commitments, and supports without hesitation, the heart senses alignment. Allah strengthens the steps of those who act with sincerity. This steady presence reassures the soul that the connection is genuine and worthy of effort. Compatibility appears in how both individuals protect each other's emotional well-being. They avoid harmful assumptions, unnecessary accusations, and manipulative behavior. Allah grants wisdom to relationships built on fairness. This fairness becomes a shield that safeguards the bond from unnecessary harm. Support during hardship is one of the strongest signs of compatibility. When someone stands firm during difficulty and offers comfort without judgment, it reveals depth of character. Allah places compassion in relationships meant to grow. Through compassion, the bond becomes resilient. Compatibility shows itself through gratitude expressed consistently. Each person appreciates the other's efforts, no matter how small. Allah increases blessings for those who show gratitude. This grateful attitude strengthens the emotional connection and prevents entitlement from entering the relationship. Behavior during moments of pressure reveals true character. Promises may fade when difficulty appears, but genuine compatibility becomes visible. Allah tests hearts to show what is hidden, and through these tests, the truth of a bond becomes clear. A relationship that remains steady under strain carries divine support. Compatibility is clear when the relationship uplifts rather than drains. Encouragement replaces criticism and reassurance replaces fear. Allah places barakah in bonds that serve as a source of strength. This upliftment becomes a sign that the connection is meant to benefit both souls. Time reveals what words cannot. A bond built on sincerity grows stronger with each shared experience. Allah allows the truth of a relationship to unfold gradually so the heart can recognize compatibility without illusion. As the bond develops, actions continue to speak with more honesty than any vow. Allah reveals compatibility through consistent behavior, heartfelt effort, and mutual respect. Promises may sound appealing, but only actions carry the weight of truth. When the heart witnesses these signs, it understands that a guided relationship does not rely on elaborate speeches. Its strength lies in sincerity, patience, and deeds that reflect genuine care. Growth becomes noticeable when the relationship feels like a safe space rather than a battlefield. The heart begins to rise instead of collapse because the bond does not suffocate, it nurtures. Allah allows such a connection to uplift the soul, not overwhelm it. Through this type of encouragement, a person discovers the beauty of evolving without fear or force. A relationship that encourages growth helps refine character through gentle reminders and supportive behavior. Criticism is replaced with guidance and judgment is replaced with empathy. Allah blesses those who uplift one another with kindness. As a result, improvement becomes natural and heartfelt rather than stressful or exhausting. The absence of pressure is felt when expectations are realistic. The heart understands that perfection is not required to be valued. Allah grants comfort to those who treat each other with fairness. This fairness removes the heavy weight of impossible demands, allowing the relationship to flourish with dignity. Growth appears when the bond strengthens self-worth. The person begins to realize that they can improve without losing themselves. Allah supports hearts that uplift rather than diminish. Through such support, confidence builds steadily, helping both individuals move toward better versions of themselves. Encouragement becomes meaningful when it inspires spiritual development. A relationship aligned with Allah's guidance does not distract from worship, it enhances it. Both individuals gain motivation to pray, reflect, and seek closeness to Allah. This spiritual growth strengthens the connection from within. A relationship that encourages growth allows room for mistakes. Instead of punishing errors, it helps correct them with wisdom and patience. Allah rewards those who approach each other with gentleness. This gentleness protects the bond from resentment and creates emotional safety for both individuals. Growth becomes part of the relationship when communication promotes understanding. The person feels heard, acknowledged, and respected. Pressure fades because there is no need to compete or defend. Allah places clarity in connections built on sincerity. This clarity becomes a tool for meaningful conversation. A bond that supports growth allows each person to evolve at their own pace. Improvement is encouraged but not forced. Allah knows the journey of every heart and grants ease when intentions remain pure. This balance creates harmony instead of tension, allowing both individuals to progress without fear. The heart recognizes growth when the relationship inspires gratitude. Small efforts are appreciated and even minor acts of kindness are valued. Allah increases blessings for those who show appreciation. Gratitude strengthens the relationship, making both individuals eager to continue growing together. Growth is evident when the relationship nurtures emotional strength. Instead of breaking the heart, it teaches resilience. Allah grants fortitude to those who rely on Him and treat others with compassion. Emotional strength becomes a shared foundation that helps the relationship withstand difficulties. Pressure disappears when the relationship avoids unnecessary comparisons. Each person is valued for who they are, not who they are expected to become. Allah honors hearts that remain authentic. This authenticity makes the bond healthier, allowing growth to emerge naturally. A relationship that encourages growth promotes responsibility without shame. Accountability is embraced with maturity, not fear. Allah uplifts those who acknowledge their shortcomings and strive to correct them. This accountability strengthens the bond, making it more stable and trustworthy. Growth becomes visible through improved habits. Better decisions, cleaner intentions, and more patience appear in daily life. Allah blesses those who seek refinement. The relationship becomes a reminder that improvement is not limited to personal benefit. It enhances the bond as well. A relationship without pressure grants space for individuality. Each person maintains their identity while growing together. Allah allows unity without erasing uniqueness. This balanced dynamic strengthens trust and prevents emotional suffocation. True growth emerges when the relationship encourages self-reflection. Instead of blaming the other person, one begins to look within. Allah blesses hearts that seek inner purification. Through honest reflection, behavior improves, communication deepens, and emotional maturity forms. Growth is recognized when apology and forgiveness flow easily. Mistakes do not turn into permanent walls. Allah values those who forgive and reconcile. This willingness to repair instead of destroy reveals the strength of the bond and the purity behind the intentions. A relationship that promotes growth embraces patience as a shared virtue. Both individuals understand that change takes time. Allah supports those who remain gentle with one another throughout that process. This patience builds endurance and helps the bond mature gracefully. Growth becomes clear when hope outweighs fear. The relationship inspires optimism about the future, making challenges feel manageable. Allah places ease in the path of those who trust His plan. This hopeful energy strengthens the emotional connection and builds long-term stability. Encouragement replaces pressure when both individuals celebrate each other's achievements. Success is not met with jealousy but with genuine happiness. Allah increases barakah in relationships free from envy. These celebrations strengthen unity and create deeper respect. A relationship that encourages growth is a sign of Allah's mercy. It raises the soul instead of breaking it, nurtures maturity instead of insecurity, and inspires faith instead of fear. Growth becomes a shared journey that brings both hearts closer to each other and closer to Allah. Divine timing carries a wisdom that the heart rarely understands at first. What feels delayed, withheld, or redirected is often Allah preparing a connection that cannot be weakened by the past. When the right bond arrives, it aligns with a season of life in which both souls are more aware, more grounded, and more capable of appreciating what they once overlooked. This timing itself becomes a sign of mercy. A bond shaped by divine timing benefits from lessons learned earlier in life. The heart enters this connection with a deeper understanding of patience, boundaries, and sincerity. Allah allows past experiences to refine a person, not break them. This refinement becomes the foundation for a bond that carries far more strength than anything previously encountered. When divine timing governs a relationship, healing precedes commitment. The heart is not rushed into connection before it is ready. Allah grants a period of introspection where emotional wounds soften, fears settle, and clarity begins to form. Through this internal stability, the relationship gains a healthier beginning. The bond becomes stronger because both individuals have outgrown patterns that once harmed their emotional well-being. Allah uses earlier trials to teach resilience and wisdom, allowing the connection to benefit from maturity rather than inexperience. This creates a depth in the relationship that past bonds could not sustain. Divine timing also ensures that the bond enters one's life at a moment when Allah removes unnecessary distractions. Situations, habits, and even people shift to create space for the connection to grow. The timing itself becomes a silent guardian, allowing the relationship to flourish without interference. When a relationship arrives through divine timing, communication becomes more meaningful. The heart has learned the value of clarity from earlier disappointments. Allah blesses the connection with understanding, allowing both individuals to communicate with intention rather than impulse. This strengthens trust from the start. The bond grows firmer because divine timing nurtures emotional maturity. Each person becomes aware of how their words and actions impact the other. Allah grants this awareness as a protection, ensuring that the relationship does not repeat the cycles of previous experiences. This maturity guides the bond toward longevity. A divinely timed connection thrives on gratitude. After encountering hardship, the heart becomes appreciative of genuine kindness, consistency, and compassion. Allah places appreciation in the soul to help it recognize the value of what He has finally allowed. This gratitude becomes a source of stability for the bond. Strength appears when both individuals realize that the relationship did not arrive by accident. The timing teaches them that Allah brought them together with purpose. This awareness encourages sincerity, commitment, and effort. It also creates an emotional safety that previous bonds did not provide. Divine timing protects the connection from rushing. The bond develops naturally without pressure or unrealistic expectations. Allah guides the pace with His wisdom, allowing trust to build slowly and steadily. This avoids the emotional instability that past experiences once created. A bond shaped by divine timing is stronger because both individuals have learned to recognize red flags and avoid harmful behaviors. Allah uses earlier chapters to sharpen intuition. This insight helps protect the connection from unnecessary conflict and emotional imbalance. Divine timing increases faith within the relationship. Both individuals understand that Allah orchestrated every step that led them to each other. This realization encourages them to place Him at the center of the bond. As a result, the relationship gains spiritual strength that past connections lack. The heart feels more secure because divine timing removes the fear of loss. What Allah writes cannot be taken by anyone. This awareness brings emotional peace into the relationship. The bond becomes more about nurturing than clinging, more about trust than fear. Divine timing allows the heart to recognize genuine compatibility. Past experiences taught what does not work, enabling the soul to value what truly aligns. Allah shapes understanding so that compatibility is not mistaken for convenience or temporary comfort. This clarity strengthens the connection. The bond becomes stronger because divine timing aligns both individuals' priorities. Goals, values, and intentions fall into balance. Allah arranges life in a way that supports the relationship rather than complicates it. This alignment becomes one of the greatest signs of His involvement. Divine timing allows both hearts to grow spiritually before meeting. Each person gains a level of reliance on Allah that supports the bond during adversity. This spiritual grounding did not exist in earlier relationships, which is why this bond carries a different kind of strength. The connection thrives because divine timing removes emotional instability. Both individuals have experienced enough disappointment to value sincerity over illusions. Allah grants clarity to help them recognize genuine effort. This clarity prevents unnecessary pain and fosters healthier interactions. A bond shaped by divine timing becomes a source of healing. Emotional wounds from the past do not resurface in harmful ways because the heart has learned to process pain with maturity. Allah transforms earlier struggles into tools that strengthen the relationship instead of weakening it. This restoration is profound. Divine timing ensures that both hearts enter the relationship with greater understanding of patience. They learn that true connection requires consistency, forgiveness, and commitment. Allah blesses the bond with these qualities, allowing it to endure hardships without crumbling. The bond becomes stronger because divine timing allows each person to recognize the importance of mutual effort. The relationship is not sustained by one-sided sacrifice, but by shared commitment. Allah honors relationships that are built on fairness. This fairness becomes the backbone of long-term stability. Divine timing removes the fear of rushing into emotional dependence. Each person maintains a healthy balance between individuality and unity. Allah grants this balance to prevent the relationship from becoming overwhelming. As a result, the bond grows with harmony rather than pressure. A divinely timed connection brings emotional clarity. Both individuals discern the difference between temporary attachment and meaningful companionship. Allah allows this awareness to emerge, so the relationship is not built on illusions. The bond grows deeper as understanding increases. Strength appears when divine timing teaches both hearts the value of forgiveness. Earlier experiences taught the pain of holding on to resentment. Allah now allows the relationship to be softened by compassion. This compassion creates unity that past connections could not sustain. A bond shaped by divine timing carries a depth that no past experience can match. Allah arranges every step to ensure that the connection is built on maturity, wisdom, and spiritual grounding. The heart recognizes that this relationship is not defined by the past but strengthened through Allah's perfect timing. Through His guidance, the bond becomes resilient, meaningful, and built to last. A protected relationship feels safe because Allah places calmness within it. Even when circumstances outside are overwhelming, the connection becomes a space where the heart can breathe, where burdens feel lighter, and where fear begins to lose its grip. This sense of emotional refuge is a sign that Allah has placed mercy within the bond, allowing it to feel stable even when life becomes uncertain. The heart experiences safety when disagreements do not lead to emotional destruction. Arguments may arise, but they do not shatter the respect between two people. Allah grants wisdom to those who value peace over ego. Through this wisdom, difficult conversations turn into opportunities for understanding rather than reasons to walk away. A protected relationship feels safe because both individuals know that their dignity will not be harmed. Words are chosen with care, frustrations are expressed responsibly, and vulnerability is handled gently. Allah blesses those who honor one another, especially during moments of tension. This honor safeguards the heart from unnecessary wounds. Security grows when the bond does not collapse under pressure. Instead of withdrawing, both individuals lean toward one another for support. Allah strengthens relationships built on sincerity, allowing them to remain firm when tested. This strength reassures the heart that the connection is not fragile. A relationship feels protected when effort remains present even during hardship. Consistency does not disappear when life becomes complicated. Allah supports those who commit to fairness and loyalty. This reliability builds trust that anchors the bond through unpredictable seasons. Emotional safety appears when apologies come sincerely and forgiveness is offered without hesitation. Both individuals value healing over prolonging hurt. Allah rewards those who mend rather than divide. Through this compassionate approach, pain does not accumulate into bitterness. A protected relationship feels safe because intentions remain pure. Each person wants good for the other, even during conflict. Allah places barakah in relationships that grow through kindness. This purity of intention prevents manipulation, deceit, and emotional games from entering the bond. The heart feels at ease when misunderstandings are addressed calmly. Instead of assuming the worst, both individuals seek clarity. Allah grants clarity to those who strive for sincerity. This clarity dissolves confusion and prevents small issues from becoming major rifts. A relationship feels protected when the bond is not dependent solely on emotion. It is grounded in principle, character, and mutual respect. Allah strengthens relationships that prioritize righteousness. This strong foundation helps the bond remain steady even when emotions fluctuate. Security increases when both individuals protect each other's privacy. Personal struggles are not exposed or used as weapons. Allah honors those who safeguard the dignity of others. This protection creates a safe emotional environment where honesty can flourish. A protected relationship feels safe when vulnerability is not mocked. Each heart understands the weight of the other's fears and treats them with tenderness. Allah grants empathy to relationships rooted in humility. This empathy builds a connection deeper than surface level affection. Comfort appears when the relationship inspires reliance on Allah instead of relying solely on each other. Both individuals gain strength through faith. Allah places tranquility in hearts that turn to Him together. This shared reliance creates stability that external circumstances cannot shake. A protected bond feels safe because both individuals refuse to let temporary anger undermine long-term commitment. They understand that frustration is part of human nature, but cruelty is a choice. Allah blesses those who choose restraint over emotional harm. This restraint protects the relationship from long-lasting damage. The heart feels safe when reassurance is offered sincerely. A gentle word, a thoughtful gesture, or a quiet act of support holds more weight during difficulty. Allah gives softness to hearts that intend goodness. This softness becomes the warmth the relationship needs during colder seasons. A protected relationship feels safe when expectations are realistic. Both individuals understand that growth takes time and mistakes will occur. Allah supports those who approach improvement with patience. This patience creates room for personal development without fear of abandonment. Safety appears when both individuals take accountability without shifting blame. Responsibility becomes a shared value. Allah elevates those who admit faults and strive to correct them. This humility strengthens the bond more than perfection ever could. A protected bond becomes evident when silence does not create fear. Even quiet moments feel comfortable because trust remains. Allah places ease in relationships built on sincerity. This comfort reassures the heart that nothing needs to be forced. The relationship feels safe when support remains present during hardship, not only emotionally, but also through practical assistance. Allah rewards those who help others in need. This support deepens trust and shows that the bond is built on more than words. A protected relationship feels safe when hearts remain gentle, even when circumstances are harsh. Kindness does not disappear and compassion does not weaken. Allah blesses those who treat others with mercy. This mercy becomes the bond's greatest shield. Emotional safety becomes stronger when both individuals respect each other's past. Pain is not dismissed, nor is it weaponized. Allah grants understanding to relationships that avoid judgment. This understanding allows healing to occur naturally. The bond feels safe when both individuals recognize that challenges are part of growth, not signs of failure. They face difficulty with teamwork rather than competition. Allah supports those who strive to remain united. This unity strengthens the relationship more than ease ever could. A protected relationship feels safe because both individuals maintain humility. Pride does not dictate decisions, and stubbornness does not govern communication. Allah blesses humble hearts with harmony. This humility brings peace even during emotional storms. Safety also comes from recognizing that Allah is watching over the bond. His protection provides comfort beyond human reassurance. This awareness teaches both individuals to rely on Him for guidance. The relationship gains spiritual firmness through this reliance. A protected relationship feels safe in difficult moments because Allah fills it with mercy. His guidance shapes reactions, softens hearts, and strengthens intentions. Through His protection, the bond becomes a place of comfort, resilience, and enduring companionship. A relationship that can withstand hardship without losing its essence. Assurance begins to form when the heart no longer feels overwhelmed by doubt. A connection that is right for you does not bring confusion. It brings clarity in quiet yet meaningful ways. Allah softens the heart to recognize sincerity, honesty, and intention. This recognition builds a steady inner calm that no amount of overthinking can shake. The heart receives assurance when communication flows without fear. You do not worry about being misunderstood or judged unfairly. Allah grants ease in speech when the bond aligns with His wisdom. This ease strengthens trust and encourages deeper understanding, helping the relationship grow on healthy emotional ground. Assurance appears when the relationship does not drain your spiritual strength. Instead, it encourages better behavior, more gratitude, and a more conscious connection to Allah. A bond that leads you toward righteousness is one Allah supports. This spiritual upliftment becomes a powerful sign that the relationship carries divine approval. The heart feels assured when actions remain consistent, not only during good days but also during difficult ones. Reliability becomes a natural trait, not something forced. Allah guides sincere individuals to behave with integrity. Through this integrity, the heart learns that trust is not a risk but a blessing. Assurance strengthens when you feel seen and understood without having to explain every detail. Emotional awareness grows naturally within the bond. Allah places compassion in hearts that are meant to support one another. This compassion allows both individuals to recognize each other's needs without pressure or demand. The heart gains assurance when fear decreases. You no longer worry about abandonment or emotional instability. Allah grants peace to bonds built on fairness and respect. This peace reassures the soul that it does not need to cling desperately. It simply needs to appreciate and nurture what Allah has written. Assurance unfolds when conversations about the future feel hopeful rather than intimidating. Shared goals emerge, values align, and both individuals feel encouraged to work towards stability. Allah aligns intentions for hearts that align with His guidance. This alignment reveals the potential for long-term companionship. The heart experiences assurance when difficult moments do not threaten the connection. Instead of withdrawing, both individuals approach challenges with calmness and maturity. Allah strengthens relationships built on sincerity. This strength becomes visible when hardship deepens unity rather than weakens it. Emotional assurance grows when the bond supports personal growth. Improvement is encouraged, not demanded. Allah blesses relationships that help elevate character. This nurturing environment makes the heart feel safe to evolve without fear of rejection. Assurance appears when the connection does not rely on constant validation. You feel secure because trust is built on real effort. Allah honors those who honor each other with fairness. This fairness removes insecurity and replaces it with stable, comforting confidence. The heart feels assured when emotional responses from both sides are measured with care. Reacting thoughtfully becomes more important than reacting quickly. Allah places wisdom in relationships that prioritize understanding. This wisdom protects the bond from unnecessary conflict. Assurance deepens when the relationship holds firm boundaries with kindness. No one oversteps or disrespects the emotional or spiritual space of the other. Allah blesses those who maintain dignity in their interactions. These boundaries ensure that the bond remains healthy and sustainable. The heart receives assurance when loyalty is evident, not through dramatic promises, but through quiet consistency. Allah supports hearts that value truth. This truthfulness reveals the purity of the bond and ensures that trust is preserved. A relationship feels right when the heart senses balance. Both individuals contribute, support, and appreciate one another without expecting perfection. Allah grants equilibrium to relationships built on humility. This balance eliminates unnecessary pressure and fosters emotional steadiness. Assurance grows when conflict is addressed respectfully. Even heated discussions do not lead to disrespect or withdrawal. Allah places mercy in relationships meant to flourish. That mercy softens harsh emotions and allows resolution to rise above pride. The heart feels assured when the relationship protects your emotional health. It does not exploit your vulnerability or weaponize your feelings. Allah grants protection to bonds that avoid harm. This protection builds confidence that the heart is in safe hands. Assurance appears when you feel encouraged to rely on Allah more deeply. The relationship does not replace faith, it strengthens it. Allah blesses connections that elevate spiritual devotion. This shared reliance becomes one of the strongest foundations for long-term stability. Emotional assurance strengthens when both individuals remain honest during their weakest moments. They do not hide flaws but work toward better behavior. Allah elevates those who acknowledge their shortcomings. This honesty creates transparency that enhances trust. The heart receives assurance when past wounds stop resurfacing in destructive ways. The relationship provides healing rather than reopening old scars. Allah grants comfort to those who seek peace with sincerity. This healing effect becomes a sign of His involvement. Assurance grows when there is no need to compete for attention or affection. Both individuals feel valued consistently. Allah provides ease in relationships rooted in fairness. This ease reduces insecurity and builds emotional confidence. A relationship feels right when decisions benefit both hearts, not just one. Fairness becomes a natural approach to problem solving. Allah blesses those who act justly. This fairness becomes a guiding light, showing the heart that the bond is aligned with goodness. Assurance becomes clear when the relationship encourages emotional gentleness. Harsh words are avoided and communication remains considerate. Allah gives softness to hearts that aim to uplift. This gentle approach ensures that difficult moments do not damage the bond. The heart feels assured when the relationship continues to grow without losing humility. Success does not create arrogance and struggle does not create blame. Allah stabilizes those who strive for righteousness. This stability reassures the heart that the bond is grounded in strong values. Assurance becomes undeniable when gratitude fills the relationship. Appreciation is expressed openly, efforts are acknowledged, and blessings are recognized. Allah increases barakah for those who show gratitude. This gratitude becomes the emotional glue that strengthens the bond. Assurance settles in the heart when the relationship reflects sincerity, respect, mercy, and purpose. Allah allows certainty to grow naturally within connections He supports. Through His guidance, the heart understands that the bond is right, not because it is perfect, but because it is protected, meaningful, and aligned with His wisdom. When a relationship carries the signs Allah has placed for you, the heart recognizes it long before the mind fully understands. You begin to feel a quiet certainty, a gentle reassurance that this bond was not formed by chance but guided with purpose. It shapes your character, strengthens your faith, and brings out qualities you didn't know were waiting to emerge. And as both hearts grow with sincerity and humility, you start to see how beautifully Allah arranges every step, every delay, every lesson, every encounter to prepare you for a connection built to last. May Allah grant you a relationship that brings ease in hardship, clarity in confusion, and tranquility in every season of life. And may He allow the bond He writes for you to become a source of growth, mercy, and lasting peace